Might I ask, what in that introduction tells any one of you that I am actually a public speaker? It is one of life's greatest ironies that you keep getting called to do that which you do not like. If you meet me outside in one of the corridors, I will blow your whiskers away with my alacrity of wit, my turn of phrase, and my devilishly good looks. But on a stage like this, I am a proverbial bag of nerves, I assure you. I'm trembling inside my black PJs. Thank you, Ms. Suresh, Lorna ma'am, for asking me to come here speak today. And in the interest of brevity, I'll try and keep it short within the allotted 30 minutes that you've given me. Shorter than the amount of time I spent doing my hair this morning for you fine folk. Why the laughter? Quintessence. I think we've come dangerously far enough in this morning's proceedings for me to proffer you another explanation or meaning of the word quintessence with no shade to my successors, so I'm going to skip this. Quintessentially skip it. The quintessential seed. To me, there's nothing more quintessential than a seed. For the seed contains the blueprint to grow an entire life form. For a seed to be successful, it needs to grow in two ways. It needs to grow its fruit system and also its root system. The root system has what we call, as a musician, it's what we call gravitropic growth, where it grows into the soil looking for nutrients around it. And when that happens successfully, all the work that it does in the dark, that it can actually grow its fruit system, which is phototropic growth towards the light. To me, all of you here, the good ladies and gentlemen sitting at the back in uniform, are like seeds planted in fertile soil. And while you're in school, you may feel like, just like seeds that are like each other, you blend into the environment that you're in. You even dress alike, and you receive the same nutrients and nourishment. You eat the same food in the canteen or the cafeteria, and you're studying the same material in your classrooms. All of this guided by your teachers, who are the gardeners in this garden of life that you find yourself in. And your teachers have this innate skill to recognize potential, to see the potential in you, and to know how to position you for the world ahead. Place you in the right part of the garden that you need to be in. Give you, well, water you at the correct intervals, let's call it that. And all of this for one day for you to bear your own personal fruit to the world around you, to give of what you're receiving now, to be able to nourish the world around you, to provide shade, shelter, solace to those in need around you, and to fill your environment with your unique fragrance. Ultimately, just like a seed, giving of everything that is you. You. Did you get that? Quintessentially you. Is this a quintessential microphone? There are 3 parts to life. 8 hours of sleep, although yesterday at sound check, this was met with great consternation and surprise. 8 hours? Such a luxury. I won't say who said that. 8 hours of school and 8 hours of self-time. The 8 hours of self-time is what I'd like to talk to you about, because this is the time where you have the most agency over your own life. And it's here where I invite you to be wholly committed to the kind of person that you want to be. Build your identity. And I challenge you to be curious about the world around you. I've been to school, been to university, lived a bit of my life. And on the other side of the equation, I can tell you this, that we tend to be very successful around that which we're most curious. Sorry, I skipped a slide. My own personal journey of curiosity. I started playing the piano when I was 10 years old. And one afternoon, I remember at church, I watched a little girl, well, not 2 years older than me, play the wedding march. And she played it with both hands. And I watched her play, and I went to the piano. And out of curiosity, I thought I'd plonk it out for myself. And I could play it note for note, both hands, just by watching her. I had experienced this new, fascinating art form, this new language, and I fell in love with music to the point where my curiosity knew no bounds. When I'd go to sleep, or my parents would go to sleep at night, I'd hide my little keyboard and my Walkman. For those of you born in the wrong decade, that's the personal listening device. I'd hide them under my pillow, and I'd pull them out when all the world was asleep. Not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. And I'd save up money for batteries back in the day, and I'd put earphones on, put my Walkman on, and headphones on, my keyboard, so I could hear both. And I'd listen to music that my friends and I would make on mixtapes. And the parts that were difficult, I'd go back and forth rewinding, and the tape would eventually run out, and it started sounding wonky, and I'd learn songs wrong. But I used to do that because I loved what I was doing. Cut to about 4 years later, when I was 14 years old, I had my first student, my computer teacher back in the day. She asked me to start teaching her because I had achieved a fair level of proficiency at the piano. And I'd go across the city for about 300 rupees a month, which is now a little less than 12 dirhams, or locally known as a shawarma and 2 karats. And that was my first gig, my first computer teacher, my first student who was my computer teacher. Cut to about 25 years later now, I've achieved my own personal definition of success. I've trained, thousands of kids and worked with hundreds of teachers in the performing arts education sector. And my challenge to all of you today is to be wholly committed to who you are as a person and to be curious about the world around you. Be very, very curious about the world around you. It's that curiosity which helps us become passionate about what we like. And all of us have different passions. And in our different passions is who we are, quintessentially human. Curiosity seeds quintessence. Thank you.